This
One
meeting is
second.
being recorded.
So, Daniel, you can start with your introduction, okay?
I'm Daniel Livingston. I have over 10 years of experience in building end-to-end machine learning solutions. I just finished a contract at Attain Financial where I established a central source through for the Treasury Department and a 5 schema architecture. I have a lot of experience in finance. It was my 10 years at TIAA. I am I've built projects using RAG and
Mm-hmm.
Streamlit,
Yeah, you spend a good
and that's
amount of time with
me pretty
Tia.
much.
Okay. And when did you, okay, so your master's and computer science. Sorry, master's of science and then bachelor's in science, okay? 2010 and 2013.
That's right.
Okay, very nice. So, how did you transition from data scientist to this AI ML side, or maybe generative
So
AI ML?
I just upskilled. Yeah, when I was affected by layoffs at TIAA, I upskilled my to start to learn the LLM architectures, and I've built projects that you can see on my GitHub with those. I've done. They liked the job of a take-home assessment that I did using RAG for Michelin.
Okay.
I'm keeping
Okay.
those skills sharp.
So can you, I mean, I probably would like to understand your transition from a data scientist into AI side. What is your contribution? What were you doing into data scientist? What made you to transition into AI side? And if you moved, what all contributions you have made so far into AI side or generative, basically AI ML side? Am I
Yeah,
audible?
I was just caught up on the latest tech, and I was I just moved over from I'm looking at AI jobs and in addition to data science jobs because I like to um, apply my knowledge of what I learned when I was upskilling of the LLMs and the RAGs. And it's really fun these days to develop things like that because I can have it up in an afternoon. I don't have to wait on a sprint from the front end developers to put it in because I am skilled at Streamlit.
Okay. Okay, good. So can you just walk me through your last project that you were working with at Tan Financial? At Tan Financial, sorry. Uh,
Mm.
can you? This is just 6 months of 4 months of a project. So why did you leave that early?
The contract ended. It was originally just going to be for 30 days, but they upped it to 90 days. And
Oh,
by that time, I had what they
so
wanted
it was a
delivered.
pretty small project. Okay.
It was a small time period, but that's in, it's almost like they operate on a different time scale because at that place you can get a year's worth of work done in just 3 months.
Okay. So you said it was a very short project. Okay. So AI data preparation ingestion. Okay. So I see you spend a lot of time with Tia. So probably uh, you can start with Duke Energy because your project is also for 1 year. I see a lot of agentic AI work, LLM prototyping that you have listed. So can you walk me through your application that you were working and what was your roles and responsibilities?
Yes, I was a data scientist for Duke Energy for a 1 year contract. And uh, I built models in SAS that were used in marketing campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
And I also streamlined a lot of the steps from the model making process that they had established. I combined the first half. It was 3 or 4 steps into one program, and then I scaled that to where it would could be a feature store for uh, any modeling that we were doing within the customer analytics group. So I combined different sets of data within SAS. We had the demographic data from Axiom. We had the customer program data, like what programs are they already in and how do they use those, and the energy usage data. So they have three types of data there. I like to make, I like to build things. I like to build things that are a conglomeration of different types of data.
Okay. And how about Tia? I see you spent almost 10 years with Tia. So this must be a full-time position, right?
Right? Yeah, and at TIA, I got to work on the customer models. I was within the customer insights group. I built models that would predict the likelihood of a customer to churn, the customer churn models, as well as models that were used as inputs to a recommendation system, the next best action. I would,
Mm-hmm.
for modeling activities, I would model what the propensity was of a customer to purchase a product, setting
Okay.
up the time frames. And a big part of what I did at TIA was the back-end model performance monitoring. That was an ongoing piece that would detect when the model would drift. It was a whole thing set up with doing data quality checks on the inputs of the models, making sure that those are okay. We would uncover problems there before they ever got to the model. So we set up alerts. And when we saw a model would drift, maybe it didn't have the cumulative capture that it had when we first started off, then it would be that was our cue to it's time to build the new model.
Okay.
I always have it like for customer level data.
Okay. Okay. So how would you differentiate in between supervised and unsupervised learning? How do you differentiate?
And supervised learning, you have a dependent variable. It's going to be what's called a response variable. That's your outcome. And unsupervised, it's you're not looking for any particular thing in the response. Just an example of that would be clustering. I've done some clustering work for both TIA and Duke to establish these customer needs segments at
Okay.
TIA.
Okay. And what about unsupervised
But
learning?
that is unsupervised. The supervised would be an example of that would be the IRA model that I made or the customer churn model that I made. An unsupervised model we had, um, we are trying to predict within which of these would stress. No, I'm sorry, take that back. I did unsupervised work at Duke Energy, but I'm not prepared to speak on that apparently.
Okay.
But on
Okay.
TIA, we had
How would you
need-based
define
segmentation.
overfitting, and how do you prevent this?
Overfitting, your model is it's too complex, usually is what the cause of it is. You are explaining what is actually noise. And when you overfit the model to the training data, it's not going to do as well on the unseen data. That's just what the problem is with overfitting.
Correct. Excellent. How would you prevent this?
How can you prevent
Mhm.
overfitting? Do you use the way that you split the data on the front end before you build the modeling? You could um, use like 80-20 instead of a 90-10 split. You increase the amount of your validation data
Okay. Okay.
or desimplify the model, have less parameters in the model, have less inputs, less data sources.
Okay. Which ML algorithms you have implemented so far?
ML libraries, but pandas, of course. I like the scikit-learn. I like to see the latest releases that we have out of the scikit-learn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and stats models is another package that's frequently used. Uh, for the AI, like AI specialist type roles, we use like the high PDF, and there's good open source packages there to get the unstructured data from PDFs. I've implemented that in a project recently.
Okay, okay. And how do you validate a model performance?
Um, there's a trade-off between the chunk size. I feel it. I don't really have an example of how I validated the model performance on that.
Hmm. Okay. How do you deploy ML models into production?
I use uh, I use Docker, and that's gonna make it more universal so
Mm-hmm.
that the team doesn't have any problems with version issues.
Mm-hmm.
Docker is a fairly easy setup. It's very few extra steps to set up the Docker, but it's well worth it to
I get
escape
it.
from
I
having all
get
those
it.
problems.
I get it. How do you monitor these deployed models?
I do deploy.
Mm-hmm. How do you? Okay, so you have deployed your application, right, into production. So how will you monitor? What tools you have used? What methods you can use to monitor these deployed models?
How to monitor the deployed models. Um, I would probably rely on user feedback. I'm big on the UI and how people use the UI.
Mm-hmm.
And hmm, yeah, you've hit the gap there. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. Hmm. So uh, you have also built ML pipelines.
A bunch of data pipelines.
Mm-hmm. ML pipelines.
Yeah. Oh, ML pipelines. Yeah, I'm setting those up in Snowflake right now, burning through the credits that they're giving me.
Mm-hmm.
Get 400 free credits. I set up a new Snowflake account. My latest project in there it's predicting predictive maintenance. It's got this data from NASA on their turbojets, and it's predicting which engines are going to fail. And yeah, that's the most interesting one I have recently from the ones that I've done.
Okay. Okay. What LLM projects you have worked so far?
What kind of projects?
What kind of LLM projects you have worked so far?
LLM projects. I did a take-home assessment for Michelin. It was a brag that loaded the PDFs with the company year-end data. It would be a tool for like the CFO to use. You could ask it a question. I was able to publish that one. That one's on my GitHub.
Okay. Okay. And do you know what is fine tuning?
What is what?
Fine tuning. Fine tuning.
Fine tuning?
Fine. F I
No,
N
not.
E. Fine
Oh,
tuning. Have you
fine
done fine tuning?
tuning. Yes, it's like adjusting the hyperparameters on your model, and I've set up an easy way to do that. I'm big on what they call definition-driven architecture, so it's just a small update to the JSON file, so you're not digging through all those layers of Python code to implement your PLC. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
do a champion challenger, it's just you just make two different config files. I'm big on that separation of the business logic from the model building. It's very important to me, and I was able to do that at Attain with the five schema system. One of those was a config file where these changes could easily be made.
Okay. Okay. So have you okay, so fine tuning versus RAG, which one you prefer more?
Fine tuning versus RAG. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. So then I think that's all I wanted to discuss with you. Prashant will get back to you and he will keep you posted for the further rounds. And we'll go ahead and try to set up your interviews soon. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
No
It's nice
problem.
talking to you.